Okay guys, so I'll be showing you how to vacuum down your HVAC system. I don't have a micron gauge. I highly recommend you get one. I think I'm gonna get one, but this setup is shown for people who don't have a micron gauge. And I'll show you how to set this up, for a lot of do-it-yourselfers, if you are getting into this. So the micron gauge usually normally goes right here. There'll be another video once I get my micron gauge, but for right now I'll show you how you can pull vacuum by using this Mercury 0 to 30. It's not the best, but if you don't have a micron gauge, you can get by with this. If you run your pump for a little bit longer, then I think you should be good. So the way we connect this is you already have these connected. I normally leave my yellow one a little bit loose, and I'll show you later why. My blue line is connected, my red one is connected. You don't really have to have this. Now, one thing when you're doing vacuum is the less restriction you have, the faster your vacuum is going to go. So if you don't have Schrader valves and things like that. In fact, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and replace the Schrader valves on this, because I know my Schrader valves are gone bad. I've already moved all my refrigerant into the compressor, so there's nothing on the lines. It's all empty. And as you can see, go ahead and remove this. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Now when you're doing this, guys, you want to make sure that there's no gas in there, and the best way to test it is just press the Schrader valve and nothing should really come out. And nothing is coming out. Because if you try to remove that, okay, so my new Schrader valve is in. I'm going to go ahead and tie this. Okay, I'm going to push the pin just to make sure it's okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, these are the valves that I picked up from Amazon, and you can go ahead and buy this fairly cheap, so I keep a bunch in hand. It's good to replace these. So make sure it's nice and tight, and then make sure you press onto the pin. Alright, so my Schrader valves are in. So now we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to connect. So again, this is my high pressure side, which is the liquid line, and that is my low pressure, which is the gas line. So the red is always for liquid line. I'll go ahead and connect that. And then you take the blue one and connect the blue one right here. And you want to make sure if you have these valves, you don't really have to have them, but if you have them, make sure they're open. There's no restriction. This is my setup. My yellow one, so blue one, red one, and the yellow one goes from here, and it goes into my pump right here. So this is a ZENY one-stage pump that I'm using, and this pump I picked up from Amazon, fairly reasonable price. So we're going to test this out. Make sure you have enough oil, and make sure both these are open. And the reason you want this open is basically because it opens up the port between the yellow and the red. So yellow and the red, and the yellow and the blue. So now this thing is open to this thing is open to this. So this line is going to be pulling vacuum into the pump, through the pump, and then it needs to have access to both ports. So right now there is nothing in the system. You know, the refrigerant was stored back in the compressor, and the remaining was evacuated, and that is it. So I think I'm ready to pull a vacuum. At this point, my service valves are all the way down, seated, so there is nothing coming into my lines. And before I run my pump, one of the things that I do is to just keep this a little bit loose, so once my pump is get going, then I can tighten this up, you know, because I don't want to start this under pressure or something like that. So I run the pump, and then I after 1 or 2 seconds I just tighten this up, you know, and then you'll see this gauge drop down to, like, you know, whatever, how, if you have a micron gauge you can actually see the reading, but in my case I don't, so I'm just going to see that. So I'm going to turn my pump on, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up, and as soon as I tighten this, you see the sound change. You can see the gauge starting to drop, and you can, over here on the pump, you can see the moist air or light smoke. You know, it's not really smoke. It's since it's taking out all the humidity from the lines, and that's exactly what it is. You know, and here on my gauge, you can see the gauge is dropping. Now it's at 30. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. You know, and then I'm going to go ahead and close these valves. So the reason I do that is because I want to see if this starts to rise up, you know. And right now I'm disconnected from the pump since I closed these valves. Right now I have a suction, or whatever suction that I have pulled so far, it went into this close to 30 whatever mercury reading, and I just want to see how long it holds like that. So I'm just going to leave it there for a little bit and then come back and see if it's really holding, because if it's not really holding, I can pull a vacuum for like an hour and a half, and this thing will rise back up, you know. If there's any leak in the system, it's just going to keep growing out. So I'm just going to leave it like that and see where we go from there. So with that, you know, I think this is pretty much how you pull a vacuum, you know. If you don't have a micron gauge, just leave the pump running for an hour, you know, depending on what size pump you have. You know, the smaller you have, the better it is. You don't want to pull the vacuum too fast, because if you do, then there is humidity in the inside the lines. You know, there's water vapors that you want to get out, and if you don't run it, or if you don't take your time to pump it out slow with a smaller vacuum, you know, it can freeze inside. So you definitely don't want that, you know. So let it vacuum, you know, let it take its time to pull all that water or humidity out of the lines. So with that, this is the easy step, you know, pretty much how to pull a vacuum. And if you're curious how we're gonna fill it up with gas, and just imagine if everything was good and I had to fill my system back up with gas, you know. So there are two methods basically. If you have trapped gas with your service ports in there, at that point pretty much what you're gonna do is I'm gonna close these valves and take out this, you know. And once I take this off, I'm already in vacuum, you know, on my lines, and that is it. I can go ahead and open the valves, you know, both of them, and release the refrigerant, whatever I have in there, into the lines, and that would be it, you know. But if you're low on refrigerant, and if you do want to fill up your system with the refrigerant, then all you have to do is take out the yellow one right from here. Make sure these are closed, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this and connect it to your bottle for 410A or R22, whichever one gas you're using. Connect it to that. We're gonna purge the line. We're gonna open the cap, of course, on the bottle. We're gonna open this a little bit, purge the line, you know, make sure that some of the gas comes out. It is allowed by EPA for purging. You know, you're not supposed to release it into the atmosphere, but for purging there are some exceptions. So you just do a little bit, purge the line, close it out tight, and then start putting refrigerant by opening these valves, you know. Now if your charging system, if it's really empty, then on a 410A system, if it's really empty, you need to fill up with from the red side, because you're not going to be able to get the volume that you need. You know, for example, if you have to fill up the system with like 8 pounds of refrigerant, you know, you can't do that with the blue line. It's just impossible. It's just going to take forever and ever, you know. You're probably going to get like, you know, one pound of refrigerant, you know, in like an hour, versus from here you can fill it up fairly quick, you know, and once you have enough that you are not at the freezing temperature, so as long as you're above 30, you can stop filling it up from here and then use one of these this device right here and connect it right here, and then fill up your system from here. So and pretty much bring it to the right charge, and that's the proper way of filling up the 410A. So guys, that's pretty much it. You know, it's fairly simple once you understand how the process works. As you can see, I'm still holding my vacuum there, so I'm just gonna leave it there, you know, for a couple of hours and see if it's holding. And if it is holding, then most likely my leak is right on that. Either it was on the shader valve or it was on here somewhere. But as of right now, I think I'm good. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Guys, if you liked the video and if it was helpful in any way, please like my channel and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.